Let's talk about the latest developments regarding the draft, which begins in only 15 days. There have been multiple reports from NFL media, which is owned and operated by the NFL, so we assume that this information that is being leaked to the reporters is accurate. All 32 teams will participate in a practice draft to test out the technology, which makes sense, right?
Yes.
It makes absolute sense. Rehearse it, practice it. It'll be funny to see what names they come up with. I would like to be the one who gets to come up with the creative names of the fake players who were drafted. I think that would be the most fun assignment of all, because obviously no one is actually going to utter any real names of players they may be interested in during this mock draft. But they need to be sure that everything works, because you've got a lot of moving parts here. You've got a conference call line that is always open. That's something Mike Garafolo explained last night on NFL Network, that is always a fail-safe. All teams are talking on this conference call, this open line at the same time. You've got the various digital technologies. You've got different companies, NFL partners involved in this process to make sure everything works, and they're going to test it out. They should test it out. This is the way that they're going to present the draft. Like anything else, if you test it out and make sure it's going to work, and this is a new frontier, this is a new unprecedented mechanism for the league, I hope they're going to test the damn thing out, Chris.
Well, it's too big and too important for them to just go into it and go, all right, let's see how the whole system works. I hope it all goes well when it's time for showtime and the lights go on. No, I mean, of course not. So yes, this is great that the NFL is kind of giving it a trial run, work out the kinks, see if everything technology-wise works the right way. Are you going to be able to, pass off notes and certain phone calls in real time and everything like that? So I think it's very smart by the NFL. It's good to hear that they're doing this now and not waiting to the night before or anything like that. Are you getting crackling in your ears by any chance? Because I am.
I'm not getting crackling in my ears.
All right, hold on. I'm going to reset my iPod. So go ahead, listen. I'm listening.
We apparently haven't tested out our mechanisms before today's show. Fortunately, we're not going to be involved in the draft or the presentation of it. Another issue that came up yesterday, and I think this is an important thing to really understand completely. Thomas Dimitroff of the Falcons is hoping that there'll be some flexibility if teams have technical issues. Now, the response to that is, too bad. Everybody's on the same footing. Everybody's got the same rules, no allowances for technical difficulties, plenty of ways to communicate during the draft. That was the message that was communicated by NFL Network last night. But I heard from somebody who's with one of the teams that said that there will be flexibility. They've been told there'll be flexibility if there is a true technical glitch that keeps them from doing what they need to do. There are multiple companies that are involved in making sure that this process is going to work out, and they don't want a competitive disadvantage for somebody who truly has a technical issue that keeps them from making their pick on time, because the low-tech mechanism of running the card up to the podium is not an option this time around. So, look, it's not going to be a way for teams to say, just give me a minute, just give me a minute. But if there is a serious technical problem, if there is a breakdown in the communication ability of a team to the league, whatever it may be, whatever may come up, who knows? Maybe there's a lightning storm in one of the various states, in one of the localities where people are trying to make these picks. There will be allowances there. There will be flexibility there. The NFL does not want a competitive disadvantage to come from this process, but they also don't want this to be a crutch.
Yeah, teams taking away from it. Yes, right.
Well,
right.
because if the doors open far enough, you will have teams that try to take more time. The door is cracked, and it's got to be a legitimate technical problem. Anything other than that, too bad. You got to get your pick in on time.
Yeah, well, I don't think we could go on just like the honor. I don't think you can go on the honor system. You're right. I mean, what if a team is, trying to wheel and deal a pick and talking to guys and everything like that? Then they realize, oh, man, the clock's ticking down here. Hey, we got technical issues, and they buy themselves 3 or 4 minutes.
The NFL,
I know.
But there's no honor system necessary when everything's digital. They're going to know if I know if your camera drops. I mean, if it drops, if the communication's shut down, the NFL.
You don't know I got this crackling in my ear right now. I know that. You don't know that because I got tons of crackling. No, I mean I understand.
Sure it's not
You're
Bentley?
right.
Are you sure it's not Bentley chewing on another bone?
I don't think so. I don't think that's what he's doing. But I mean, either way, I mean, oh, okay, yeah, you're right. The NFL is going to know, I guess, to a degree. But if you're the NFL, Mike, do you put somebody in all 32 buildings, or have some one person in charge of all of each team within the NFL to know, to kind of give a little bit of a baseline, like, oh, hey, there is this issue, and then he can get on the phone with NFL technicians? Do you do something like that? How does that work to the checks and balances of it all?
My understanding is that, and apparently they're going to use Verizon for a lot of the technical communications and the internet, or I don't know, whatever it is. Verizon, which is an NFL partner, is a big part of this. My understanding is that there will be technicians on site at certain homes, whether it's general managers, coaches, owners, maybe it'll be 3 per team. I don't know. But they are going to have, I mean, this is a big deal. This is a major TV production that they are trying to do with all these people at home. And it's not just the TV production, it's the actual process of getting the draft executed. It's 2 things in one. So they're going to be deploying assets to make sure this thing works out the way that it needs to. So even though it can't be used as a crutch, it is a reality. It is on the radar screen. The possibility of an actual telecommunications, internet, whatever breakdown. They're not going to say to a team, too bad, you've missed your pick. We're going to move on to the next team. Although the chances of everything breaking down simultaneously, from phone to internet to all other communications devices, that is going to be a slim possibility. Another issue that apparently emerged over the weekend, Kevin Colbert, the Steelers general manager, who not long ago was saying, hey, back in 1974, the Steelers found 5 Hall of Famers in the draft, and we didn't have pro day workouts and private workouts and player visits to teams and all the stuff we have today, so we'll just go back to 1974. Well, he wants to go back to 1974 in another way. He wants more rounds for the draft. I mean, there were 12, I believe, back in the 70s. There have been more rounds than that in past years. Now it's 7. 7 total rounds for the draft. Kevin Colbert, according to Manish Mehta of the New York Daily News, suggested recently that they should add 3 rounds to make up for the inefficiencies and the incomplete information that is available to teams. Now, this overlooks the fact that once the draft ends, you go get whoever you want. It's open season. It's undrafted free agents. You go sign guys. Why should they have the right to squat on 3 more guys per team? That's another 100 guys who end up having their ability to pick their first NFL franchise taken away from them, all because we want to give some sort of a consideration to the fact that it's even more of a crapshoot now than it otherwise is. That's not going anywhere. That's not going to happen. And there are some people who think this is a good idea. I don't. The draft is 7 rounds. After that, you go out and you get whoever you want, whoever you can convince to sign with your team. And, maybe the thinking is some of these teams don't want to spend more by way of signing bonuses for the undrafted players because it's going to be maybe more challenging this year to identify who you want and spend the money on the right guys. Too bad. Go get your guys in undrafted free agency the same way you do every year. That's going to be the NFL's bottom line here, and I think that's the right way to do it.
Well, yeah, it's not fair to those guys. As much as it's a great honor, right, to be drafted in general.
It's not an honor. It's not an honor. It's not an honor to be drafted. It is not an honor to be drafted. You have been brainwashed, and you continue to be brainwashed. It is an honor and a privilege to be able to pick where you're going to work once you have put in multiple years of playing football for free and taking all of those risks for free. When the time comes to pick your employer, you get to stay close to home if you want to. You would have liked to have played for the New York Giants. You didn't get a chance to do it because somebody else drafted you first. It's not an honor to be drafted, Chris. Set that bag down once and for all.
No, I'm not. It was an honor regardless. Yes, I mean, did I want to play for the New York Giants? Certainly. But I was still honored that somebody wanted me in the first 100 picks of the draft and thought of me as talented enough to help their football team and my dream come true of playing in the NFL. They can think that
about you anyway. They can think that's the thing. You are the asset. Don't you realize that? You are the thing that has value. You are the person that helps them win football games. They have come up with a way in the spirit of competitive balance, like it really makes the bad teams better. The bad teams just draft the wrong guys. But in this notion of smoothing everything out and giving everyone a fair chance, they do this very un-American process of letting people call dibs on employees, even though there's 32 independent companies. Look, I didn't expect to get on this soapbox today, but quit saying it's an honor to be drafted, because there's kids out there who are listening to you and they're going to continue to think, oh, it's an honor to be drafted. It's not an honor to be told where you're going to work, who you're going to work for, who you're going to work with, especially at the quarterback position. When working for Andy Reid versus working for insert name of quarterback coach who doesn't know what the hell he's doing is going to determine whether or not you're going to have a successful career.
Well, yeah, okay, but that's the current system, and it still doesn't change anything as far as, I understand what you're saying. I get it.
No,
but
you don't.
I can't. Well,
you keep calling
because
it an
I
honor.
don't. I don't get it. You're right.
Then
because
you don't understand what I'm saying.
It's the way the system.
You're just trying to
because I don't
placate
care. You're like in this, soapbox of like Mike Florio unrealisticness, and this is the way it's the way it is in all sports, Mike. It's the way it's set up in this country. Everybody would want to play for the Yankees. Everybody would want to play for the Patriots.
Chris, do you want to sit on the bench behind Patrick Mahomes if you're a quarterback who's coming out of college football? Are you going to say, hey, I want to play for the Chiefs, I want to win a Super Bowl, and I'll watch Patrick Mahomes do it? Or are you going to go to a team that has a need at the quarterback position? It's not going to happen that way. And you can use a salary cap, and you can use a rookie salary pool, and you can give the bad teams more money to spend on rookies so they have a better shot at attracting those players. But ultimately, it should be the decision of the player. This is the United States of America. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I abhor the idea that companies can come together. These are 32 different companies. This is Taco Bell, McDonald's, Arby's, Burger King, Wendy's, taking a total workforce and saying, I've got that guy. I've got that person. I'm taking that person. It's bullcrap. And people need to wake up to it. Okay, rant over.
All right, either way.
Better. I got a lot of things I want to complain about today.
I disagree with you. I don't know how I'll have to formulate my argument
Texas.
better.
You chose to go to Texas.
I chose to go to Texas, and I could say I chose wrong in some areas too.
Why doesn't college football do that? Why doesn't college football have a draft? Right?
Because
you get
there's
to pick
too many.
Where you go to college.
Okay, sure. So, I mean, what's your point? It doesn't matter. They're not paying me. They didn't do anything like that.
It's an honor. It's an honor to be drafted by the college that you attend.
That's
a great
system, and it's the best sport we have in our country and the best sport in the world, and it is equal in a lot of ways, right? We've seen a lot of equality other than the New England Patriots dominating, and it is very fair the way it's set up, and it's proven to work. And it's been working for a long time. It's plenty fair.
Not fair to kids.
It is too. It is. You work hard, you're getting rewarded, you're getting paid to play football, and it's a dream come true.
So what?
You're
you
playing
get paid
in
to
the
play
NFL.
Football. You're gonna listen. Tua Tagovailoa wants to play for the Cowboys. He's one of the few guys who's been willing to admit, before the draft, they're all robotic. Oh, I don't know. I'll play for whoever wants to pay me. Tua's willing to say, I want to play for the Cowboys. He should be allowed to play for the Cowboys if he wants to play for the Cowboys. He's going to be sitting on the bench watching Dak Prescott, but if that's what he chooses to do, he should be allowed to do it. That's my point.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.